Let me tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm giving all my love to you. I'm giving all my love to you.
Welcome to another episode of Saving Us. We are your hosts. I am Deetra, and this is
Michael.
Mr. Michael, and we are the Carters. Thank you for tuning in to this episode. Remember to like and subscribe and share this podcast with a friend. Is there anything else people should do that I'm missing?
Ring the bell so they can know when a new episode is coming.
Ring that bell. All right. We start each segment with something new. Ooh. What's your something new?
Ooh. My something new
What's your something
is we are having a Healthy Mind, Healthy Life Summit hosted by our church. Summit at the top. Yeah. And I am facilitating a workshop there. Physical and spiritual self-care. So that's new for me. We've hosted the workshop. I've been the MC?
The facilitator, the organizer.
The organizer and all of that, but I've never participated, because I'm not a mental health professional. But now I am a certified mental health coach. Yes.
A mental health coach or a life coach?
Youth mental health coach and life coach.
Oh, you did two certifications.
Yes, I got two certifications. I have 101 and 102 on life coaching, 101, 102, and 103 on youth mental health coaching.
Oh, look
Certified.
at you.
Certified with papers. So there you go. It's coaching now. It's not diagnosing. It's not like a therapist or a doctor.
Yes.
But it's coaching to gain and maintain good mental health for youth. So there you go.
There you go.
So, yes. What's your something new?
So now he knows stuff. He knows stuff.
A little bit.
Trying to play small. Quit trying to play small. You think
Girl.
you know stuff. You think you know stuff.
What
That's why you're doing the facilitations.
Yeah, well, that's another story. Our workshop leader fell through, or we didn't have one for this particular one, so I'm stepping in since I am certified.
You never know what the Lord has in store.
You never know. You never know. That's an R&B song, but anyway.
R&B, the good pastor. No,
Yeah.
I'm playing. I was playing with you. All right. My something new is my attitude on life.
Your attitude on life? What? You mean, go ahead. Sorry.
What was in that?
No, I'm just wondering. I'm intrigued. Yes, what do you mean?
I am receiving the spirit of Patti LaBelle. Ooh. I got a new attitude.
Oh, I was like, what? You gonna start screaming? 10 long years? Okay.
No, running hot, running cold. I was running into overload. It was extreme. Y'all don't want me to sing,
We like you singing. Yes, we like you singing.
But yeah, have a new
Okay.
attitude, just
But what does this
being
mean?
grateful for things.
Okay.
And not always looking at the downside, but intentionally being grateful for what I have. It's new again, I should say. It's not like I've never done this before, but it is new again for me, for where I am right now.
Okay, well, that's good. All right, new attitude.
Amen.
Attitude always helps.
Amen.
Amen.
always helps.
Amen. All right, speaking of that, new attitude
Yes.
and the Healthy Mind, Healthy Life workshop.
Yes.
Our subject for this week,
Is mental health.
mental health, how that affects a marriage relationship.
Really, how it affects any
Well,
relationships.
that's true.
People with people always say people dealing with mental health, but really you're dealing with mental illness or lack of mental health.
Yeah.
Because if you're healthy mentally, then there's nothing to talk about.
Right. But, one of the things is you can be not healthy mentally and not have a mental illness, as
True.
like schizophrenia, bipolar. I don't know. So also a disclaimer. We are not mental health professionals.
Not at all.
Even with my certification, I'm not a professional
These are
doctor.
opinions
Yes.
and experiences.
Yes. And to maybe open a dialogue. Maybe you
Yes.
could comment on, your relationship or things that you've experienced that relate to mental health and how it's affected your relationships. So, yeah. So that's what we're just discussing it.
That's all.
But the lack of mental health, as you say, can affect a marriage or a relationship, period,
Yes.
in several ways, right? I mean, one way, if we're going to,
Okay, so let's
okay,
define a lack of mental health, because really people are dealing with things all the time.
right, this is true.
So are we saying just if you are overworked, if you are you've taken on too many responsibilities, if you're dealing with sadness because someone has died or there's been a divorce or a separation, somebody has left, are those things that count as a lack of mental health?
Yeah. Well, you're talking about the causes as well, but if you just talk about without because many things can cause it, but yes,
Yeah, I mean, but life. What I'm
like
saying
depression,
is things that everybody's going to go through in life. Are we saying because you're sad because
Right.
of something that happened,
Right.
is that a lack of mental health? Because you're frustrated because you have too many responsibilities, is that a lack of mental health? Because you're having anxiety because you're overworked, is that a lack of mental health? That's the question.
Right. Well, I think that when you talk about a lack of mental health, there is cause and effect, because what you're saying, listen, we can go down that road of, you talk about generations and how I say that because it seems like there's been more of a spotlight on mental health in this, in Gen Z, even in the millennials generation. But in the last 20 years, let's just say that, 20 years or so, there's been more of a focus on mental health. But really, it's shined a spotlight on some things that have been, we're happy that it has. But also, are we, with what you're saying, are we now magnifying things that people are going to go through anyway, like frustration? I don't think you can say frustration is a lack of mental health. It can lead to that, but I think people are saying, "Oh, my mental health is in trouble," and they're really frustrated. Now, I know that might make some people upset, but when we were kids, a lot of kids deal with this issue of mental health. Okay, however, if you talked last episode about going outside.
Yes.
There are some coping mechanisms, I think, that where we blow it up into a whole thing where you got to go see a therapist and you got to do all this stuff and you got to have all these different coping mechanisms. And really, sometimes, if you go outside and play, you know what I'm saying?
Adults and children.
Well, you talked about going outside.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes taking a walk. We're talking about coping mechanisms
Right.
now, but taking a walk, being out in nature, being around people who are positive, those things can really help. Whereas I think a lot of people blow up mental health into, oh, now you got to see a therapist and you got to do. You always talk about me because I talk about therapy.
Negatively.
And I'm not against therapy. All I'm saying is, y'all doing too much. You doing too much. It's too much. It's too much. I'm sorry.
That's his opinion.
That's my opinion. Is people going to therapy too much. I did not say don't go to therapy. That's not what I said. I said you did every little thing. You burned the bacon. Now I got to go see a therapist. Come on now. I mean, your shoes don't fit. Now I got to go. Everything is I got to go see a therapist to me. That's my opinion. Feel free to disagree. But I'm just saying that it frustrates me because there are things that we can do to help people. Sometimes stuff is going to be hard. That's the way life is. Sometimes it's going to be hard. And going through hard stuff helps you to be the person that you're going to be. Because life is not always peaches and cream. Someday peaches, someday cream. someday all you got is the bowl. You ain't got nothing in it, you know, and you're going to deal with it. And your therapist ain't going to be there. You got to know how to overcome. That's what overcoming is all about. You can't be an overcomer unless you have something to overcome. You can't be more than a conqueror unless there's something to conquer. Okay, now, anyway, back to your question on what really is mental health or a lack of mental health. Really, I think the way what we're defining for the purposes of this talk, of this podcast, is a situation that has a cause and effect. So it leads you to do something like withdraw or be depressed.
Okay.
So if it leads to that,
Okay.
then I would say that's a lack of good mental health.
And so do you put a time frame
Girl, don't
on
get
it?
me
Because,
lying.
I mean, because it's, they are emotions that you will
Yeah.
experience.
For sure.
So how do you know when you've experienced what we call negative emotions too long and that you need help to get over them?
Yeah, I think that is probably a question that is a legitimate question for a mental health professional, not just a coach, but someone who has the ability to diagnose. But that's a good question. I mean, I don't know if somebody's watching this, maybe comment on that. What are your thoughts? What would you do? So let's just talk us practically, you know, not professionally, you know, from a book.
Because we're not professionals.
We're not, right?
Okay.
But just say you've noticed me withdrawing, or I don't know, whatever the thing is. Seems like I'm depressed. What do you think? How long would you go before you say something to me like, "Fool, what's your problem?" You wouldn't say, "Fool, what's your problem," but
I would not say
she would
that.
not. She would not say that.
But how long would I go?
Yeah. How long would you go?
I would say, well, if I don't know what the problem is, or if I can't, you know, just by
Yeah. See.
reasonable thinking,
Right.
You
No,
know,
well, this happened.
say this is probably why he's down.
Yeah.
I would say maybe 1 week. I would give it
Yeah.
maybe 1 week. You know, just kind of watch and see if the mood changes or stays low. But like I said, it's circumstantial though, because if I know you've had a hard situation, then maybe you give it more time because everybody's different, you know. But if I don't know what's going on and you haven't said anything,
Right.
then I'm probably, maybe it should be sooner than that. But knowing me, it would probably be about
You
a
give it a
week.
week 'cause you don't know.
Because I don't
Yeah.
interact, you know, on that level daily. You know what I'm saying?
So yeah. So like, you know, if Ohio State lost,
Oh, that's
You
a
should
good
leave
3
me
days
alone.
right there by itself.
yeah, that
You
is.
know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, for real, it is.
But if you don't know what it is,
Mm-hmm.
that seems fair. Well, again, let's engage. You know, those who happen to see this, what would you say? Your partner was down, you know, or that kind of thing. How long would you allow that to go on?
I don't. You know, I think it's hard. It could be hard for some people, just because there are personality differences, and some people are more in tune with their partners than others. And if one partner is has a like just get over it kind of personality, they might not notice for a while that their person is not doing well. You know,
Right.
they might be like, oh, they'll be all right. You know, and
If
that could go on for a little while. So I don't know.
Well, you know, that's probably not good. I
No,
mean, not probably. That is not good.
I don't think it's good.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I would probably the same for me. If I don't know, it probably would be a little less. But you're right. It depends on the situation. If I know something's going on, like you're working on your dissertation and you hit a wall and you got frustrated and it, you know, made you upset, then you might just be like, because I know what all's behind it. It's not just that moment.
Right.
It's years of, you know,
Right.
all of this. So that's true. It depends. What kind of signals, again, non-professionals, but just as married people, what kind of signals do you think you would see in your partner?
partner?
You know, that would alert you to that?
I think if it's just a change, if it's an opposite behavior, like if somebody is usually up, early in the morning and gets their day going, if they start sleeping in, and it's consistent, even if the person has to get up to go to work, through the week, and maybe they're off on the weekend, but usually on the weekend they get up and do whatever. But if on that Saturday and Sunday they're just like, no, I'm not doing anything, and that happens for several weekends, you'd be like, okay, something's going on. Because my opinion is that many people are depressed, or not, I should say not happy, but they just keep going, in their lives. But in some way, it's going to come out. It's going to come out. It's going to come out in some kind of behavior, or your body is going to tell on you, and you'll start getting illnesses in some kind of way,
right,
because you can only take so much. So it has to come out in some kind of way. So that's one way. I think if a person, if their behavior changes noticeably, you're like, what? If a person starts to eat a lot more, or stops eating, or if they get obsessed about something, maybe they just have to go to the gym or jogging or whatever, they have to go, and they get anxious if they don't go, and,
right.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah. So you just mentioned something that came to mind, is because we talked, you're talking about withdrawal, or if a person, usually is up early in the morning. We say that because we're both morning people. Usually up early in the morning, and on this, even if it's Saturday or whatever, they don't get up. So that's kind of a withdrawal. But you just mentioned something, anxiety also. If a person is usually not anxious.
Yeah, they're laid back usually, but then they start having to do stuff.
That's another signal, right? That their mental health is probably not.
It's not well. They're not best. Well.
Yeah, or whatever's going on. Because it can lead to other things like, again, non-professional opinion, but if you're withdrawn, if you're depressed, then you're going to have difficulty expressing emotion, or you're just not going to express emotion. So it can mask other things too. If something's going on with you, like, for example, say you had a medical issue, like, I don't know, whatever. I don't know. I was going to say some woman issue, but I don't know. But you had something going on with you in your body. I mean, that could be different than the mental health issue, or whatever's causing you to, have a lack of mental health. But because you're withdrawn, you're in the state of being withdrawn, or depressed, or even anxious, it's taking your mind off. Now you can't express which really you should in a marriage. That's part of what a marriage is for, because you go through life together. So when something happens to me, I bring it to you, and then we walk through that together, even though it's happening to me. But you're not able to do that. So that is, I think, a big blow, because that really tears a hole in the really kind of the fundamental aspect of marriage and what it means, relationship, and that's sharing what's happening with me.
Yeah.
So, in that way, and also it can create a barrier to, obviously, open and honest communication. You're not going to be honest about what's happening with you. Or if I know I'm dominating the conversation, but whatever.
You're fine.
Or if, say so something's going on with me, I'm withdrawn, maybe going into depression, and I'm masking it, or whatever, masking it. And you ask me something, not about me, maybe about you, an opinion. What do you think I should do with this situation? Or, this thing's going on at work. But I'm not going to be open and honest. I might just be like, well, whatever, just tell them you quit. Or, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of. But, I'm just saying it creates all of those. It creates these other effects.
Yeah.
It's probably not the right way to say that, but
there's a ripple effect.
There's a ripple effect for a plethora of other things that the lack of mental health can cover up. So I'm saying that's how big of an issue
It's a big issue.
that is.
Yeah.
And we're now, mind you, we're not even talking about what you said, or like mental illness. That's even another level, because now you need to go see somebody.
Yeah.
You know. But anyway,
You need to see a psychotherapist.
I'm not against. Listen, let me just clarify if I haven't already. So for me, it's not. I'm not against that. All I'm saying is, I don't even know what to compare it to. It's just like it's kind of like last time I was talking about my health journey and eating right. It's kind of like me just eating. A bunch of potatoes and ice cream and everything what else has carbs, chips and rice and bread, all day, every day, and then going to the doctor like, I need more medication. And it's like, really what you need to do is just stop eating so much. That's all I'm saying is sometimes people just, any little thing, stuff that I know people will argue with that. They'll be like, well, how do you know if you don't go to the therapist? Some stuff you know. You just.
I am a proponent for going to therapy, but not using it excessively.
That's all I'm saying. That's
not using it excessively.
As a crutch.
Because my opinion is that a therapist or a counselor, even a coach, is supposed to help the person find the answer within themselves. My opinion is that our answers are within us. We know them. We may not know how to express it or how to identify the answer, but if we have somebody else to talk to, they can help us identify what the answer is to whatever we're facing that's causing us not to feel healthy mentally. So for that reason, I say going to therapy can be a very good thing. As long as, like you said, as long as you want to get better, though. Well, that's just like some people go to a medical doctor for medicine, but they don't really want to do what it takes to get better. You can, to a mental doctor, it can be the same thing. You just keep going just because, this is wrong, woe is me, woe is me, woe is me. Do you really want to get better? That's all. But I do think it's good, and I do think some people need medication. I do think your brain, the chemicals can be imbalanced,
chemical imbalance
in your body, and medication is helpful for many people.
Right, but that's if it's treating the physical condition.
Yeah.
If you diagnose somebody with, it's not for me to say. I just have an opinion on, somebody who's down and depressed, and you give them medication. Okay, maybe, because if that depression comes from a chemical imbalance, then the medication. I'm not a doctor.
Should help, right?
I'm not a doctor, but I'm just saying, if you just down because Ohio State lost, why would I go get medication?
No, we're not.
I know, but but to me, that's what it's like. There are things, not like your team lost, but there are things that happen in life.
Yeah.
That we treat, and you're going to treat it with medication.
That's true.
But you're going to do that every time something happens? Negative things going to happen. People going to talk about you.
But I say people going to talk about you.
Yeah.
But what do you do, though, with those of us who have a harder time bouncing back from negative circumstances?
Listen, you're right. Talking, I think, is... I think if you can get it done with that more so than medicine, if a professional would know better than me. I'm just saying. Okay, I'd liken it to this. Here's where I can speak from. I've been a pastor. I've been a lead pastor for 15 years.
Almost, yeah.
15 years.
2010 or
2009. Yeah. So. And then we've been elders before that, in leadership positions. I've been a manager at a company for a number of years, managed people. And so speaking from that experience as a pastor, Many people feel like, well, I need to go to my pastor. My pastor is my spiritual advisor. He's my shepherd. She's my shepherd. They have, they're watching out for me spiritually. So anytime I have a problem, I need to go to them. I need to go to them for counseling. I need to go to them for everything. I need to, So as a pastor, if my approach is, I'm going to treat every day and every congregant like, come to me when you have a problem, then I didn't read the Bible. My job as a pastor is to get you to read your Bible, to be able to go to God for yourself, okay, to equip you with everything you need so that you can go. Now that doesn't mean, stop, like I don't want you to come to church, and we need that. We need teaching, we need shepherding. But I'm saying, my job is not to get you to come to the church for me. My job is to equip you so you can fly and be free and excel and thrive spiritually in your life. You don't need to come to me for everything. So if a doctor, whether it's a medical doctor or a therapist, if their goal is to get you, as they should, as you said earlier, to fly and be free, then I think it's great. I think it's a wonderful thing. But if you, as a person, like you said, you want to have a crutch, you want to have somebody to depend on, all you want to do is cry about your problems, and that's perpetual, then I think there's no help there. I don't think that's a help. I think that's a crutch, and you're always going to have it. And here's what I'll say. There's been this saying, and I bring this to our Healthy Mind, Healthy Life Mental Health Summit. Our saying is this. People have come up with this saying, it's okay not to be okay, and they emphasize it. And I think it's a great saying, and I think it's true, because too many people are made to feel guilty and feel shame for the way that they feel. Our counselor at our church, I know we're not supposed to mention names, so I won't say her name, but she is wonderful. I have gone to see her several times. And one of the things that she talks about is, don't tell someone, if you tell me, well, I feel like, this, and I shouldn't say, well, don't feel that way. That's what I want to say. Don't feel that way. Even being innocent. You can't say don't feel that way. I do feel that way. That's right. So I get that 100%. But you do feel a certain way, and you are that way. But it's okay not to be okay. It's just not okay to stay there. And I think that's where we lack. That's where people lack. They say it's okay not to be okay, and that's it. That's the end of the statement. Well, no, that's not the end of the statement. You're not here for that. It's not okay not to be okay, and that's it. It's okay not to be okay. It's just not okay to stay there. You have to want to get better. So
yeah,
that's my
So what
soliloquy.
if people use counseling or therapy to help them through the many challenges that you will face over and over again? Not the same challenge, but the different things that come up in life. And they just need someone to bounce it off of, and to, help them to see how to get through the situation.
Yeah, I'm like that. But you know what? Instead of paying somebody, I'd talk to you.
Well,
Or I
everybody
talk to
doesn't
my
have
friend.
that. That's why we have so many mental health counselors.
Yeah, well, okay, but I don't know. That's just taking advantage of. That's like me charging. People might say you do, but we do not. This is something totally different. That'd be like me charging people to come to church. You got to pay the offering. That's offering to the Lord. I'm talking about me charging people to come hear me talk. That's, to me, that's what that's like. If I don't know. That's just. I know it's getting into some murky waters there. Because I'm not saying I don't believe in therapy. I do, but to me, that's using it as a crutch. If you're,
you feel like that's using it as a
get
crutch?
you a friend. You can't get no friends in the whole world.
Well,
Some
okay,
people
so
can't,
for
maybe
marriage counseling, some people use therapy for their marriage, and so they go weekly or monthly, however they go on a regular basis, however they can afford, or what they need, and it's not necessarily because they're having a hard time, but they use it as a way to get through hard times and to avoid being in hard times for a long time.
Okay, so let me interject something here. This episode I've been talking too much, but let me interject something here. So as I said, I've taken this training to be a life coach. All right, and got certified. Also, a youth mental health coach. A lot of people won't believe it, maybe even you, but they emphasize in the training, and it's hours upon hours upon hours of training. They emphasize in the training the difference between coaching and therapy. And so therapy is really geared toward healing. You know, some trauma, something that you've gone through that causes the depression, that causes the withdrawal, that causes those things. And the therapy is there to help you to heal from that, to go back into your past, bitterroot judgments, all of those things to heal. Coaching is what you're talking about more so, is how can we get through hard times when they come? What can we do to set ourselves up to have and maintain good mental health going forward?
So, okay, I hear you. So it's not the same as therapy. But I do believe therapists are trained in both therapy and coaching.
That is 100% true. So a coach can't do therapy.
Right.
So I can't do therapy. A therapist can coach. Yes. So you can go, but if you're going for that, you know, but I'm all I'm saying is how murky then does it get between, are you saying I'm going to therapy or are you going for coaching? Because are you trying to get over a hurt? And is that where we're going to be like the rest of our time? Are we going to get over that hurt? Or are we getting counseling and coaching so that we don't go back into
the same
pattern of behavior?
Yeah.
That's all I'm wondering.
Yeah. No, I think, well, if we are getting coaching so that we don't go back into the same pattern of behavior, that is a form of therapy because you're healing from a hurt.
Well, but at some point, my thing is, some point you have to be healed. If you're never healed, then what is the point?
Right.
So if once you're healed, that's where coaching comes in.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Yeah.
I'm just saying people go to the therapist because they get it. Maybe it's like a full package deal. I don't know. But some couples do, they just go to help work out the kinks in their relationships.
Okay, I'm just saying at some point it's got to be worked
just
out.
saying,
you can't, you're gonna go for the rest of your,
that's what I'm saying. Some people do. I mean, they just go.
I don't agree with that.
Throughout their marriage, they just go. So when things come up, they can work it out with the therapist / coach, whatever however you want to put it.
Okay, I don't as a person, not as a professional, I don't agree with that. I think it's like Job getting up every day, giving an offering just in case one of the kids mess up. It comes from a good place. It's a wonderful heart, but we're gonna stay there. That's what we're gonna do every day. We're gonna do something just in case there's a hurt.
I'm not saying they go.
In case you say something bad, hurt my feelings. We already got an appointment with the therapist, so don't worry. Well,
some people do that. But when things come up during, how between the times that they meet.
Yeah.
They wait to talk about those things with the therapist.
Yeah. I'm just saying, let's try learning and not doing those things. Because to me, it's saying, well, okay, we know we're going to do those things, so because we got a therapist, so it doesn't matter. No. That's what it's saying to me. That's what it's saying to me.
Gosh.
Like we could let's just. I mean, we're not as worried. Matter. Well, we're not as concerned about fixing it because we're going to a therapist.
Okay, that's how you see it.
Yeah, it is, and it's just I understand. Yeah. So it's a good discussion, I guess.
Yeah.
So there you go. All right, we done with mental health because we don't know what we're talking about.
Not at all, baby. Not at all.
But it's good.
Okay, so how do you feel like our mental health? Do you feel like there have been times that have been really challenging for us mentally in our 25 years? Can you pinpoint? Any specific times?
Yeah.
What do you remember?
I think this whole family had a mental health problem when I quit my corporate job and went into full-time pastoring. Everybody had mental health. They were like, "Oh no, you can't do that." From the youngest
to the
oldest.
And we still say we hold
like,
fast on that
said,
belief
no,
right here today.
They was like, "No,
What are you thinking about?
Health insurance.
What in the world?
Salary I went down. I ain't gonna say how much it was.
And now
very
I got to
significant.
go to work every day.
Girl, listen.
And I'm grateful because that's my new thing. I'm grateful for it.
Yeah, new attitude. I hear you. I hear you.
Just know I'm grateful for it. Whoever may see this, I'm grateful for it.
But you know, this is really, in the roundabout way, you're doing a great thing. What you are doing for these children.
Don't do that.
Oh my goodness, it's the truth.
Don't
it's the
say
truth.
that. Don't say that, because you know what I want to do.
What?
I want to spend hours upon hours getting my life coaching certification because I got time to do that.
Is that right? I didn't do it during my work hours, just so you know.
Okay.
Yeah, that is the truth. So there you go.
True colors come out.
That's
Okay,
right.
but you said
Truth
when
will
you
come out. The truth will out, as Red Reddington would say.
who's it?
From the Blacklist. The truth will out. Anyway.
Look, you said how long has that been
What?
when you left
When I left where?
corporate?
2017.
Oh, that's why too. It's too much going on.
Yeah, that's true.
There was too much going on at that time.
All right.
Yeah, that
We
was
can get
hard.
through it. We can get through it. All right.
That was I never put those times together. Okay, so let me see. I don't know. Is there a certain time? Okay, you're ready to stop. Okay, that's it. So let's keep moving. I can look at your face. You're like, could you please, stop talking about that? I read you very well. Did we already talk about accountability?
No, we did not talk about accountability.
What are you accountable for?
What am I accountable for?
Yeah, this segment, accountability.
Well, it's the same. Well, you know what? My accountability is going to be having my glucose below 100 for 1 week straight.
There you go.
That's the challenge, and I know I can do it.
You can.
Yes. So that's accountability goal.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah. All right. Mine is, well, I don't know if it's to finish, but to continue reading a book that I'm reading. It's a big fat book, 700 pages.
700 pages.
So I'm on page 560 something, maybe like 563, 562, something like that. So I would like to have finished it in about, I'm going to give myself about a month. I know some people are like,
how many pages? What page are you on?
I think it's 563.
563, you said? Mm-hmm. And you got to go to 700?
700.
How long you been reading it?
Forever. Forever. It's been over a year, I think. But I have read other books in between.
Oh. Well, you just got to
that were
concentrate
more
on
interesting.
That one. Well, you've also been writing.
And I've also been writing.
Your own book. So
doing other things. Yeah. So, yeah.
When do you want to finish it?
The book?
Yeah. What's your goal?
I said give me a month.
To finish?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying to keep reading. You're saying
no. To finish in about a month.
Okay. 1 month. Mm-hmm. That's by the end of the season.
It shouldn't take that long, but I'm going to give myself a
month. 1 month.
Because I only read at night, like right before bed. It helps me go to sleep.
Yes.
So I don't get to read that many pages because I start falling asleep.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good. So that's it. What's your positive note?
My positive note. I don't know. You say something and then I'll remember.
All right. My positive note is to encourage people to call someone on the phone instead of texting them.
Oh. What?
Yes. Call on the phone instead of when you want to go text.
So you want me to call you on the phone instead of text you? You want
you
me
don't
to
even
do
answer
that?
your phone. If
I said, do you want me to call you? Not you call me. I don't want you to call me because I'm not going to answer. I don't like to talk on the phone.
Exactly.
I do like to FaceTime though.
Yeah.
I like to FaceTime with Nia. But yeah, calling.
Well, this is my point. Is Not
Well, I
every
think
day.
I don't like to call because I don't hear real well on the phone. Stuff sounds like, and I can't understand what people are saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, mine, it's not to stop texting and only call. I'm saying once. Just for the next time. Okay, I'll say this. In this next week, from when you see this episode, 1 week from now until the next 7 days, one time, pick up the phone. And I'm not talking about people you owe money to or somebody you got to call. I'm talking about your friend that you're about to text.
Instead
Call
of
them.
texting.
Instead of texting, call. One time.
But people don't answer the phone.
Well, that ain't your fault.
Well, that's true. You can call and leave. If somebody calls us and they don't leave a message, then we think that it's not that important. And so we don't need to call back.
Yeah.
But if you leave a message, then I'll call you back.
Well, okay. That's true. Well, all I'm saying is just pick up the phone and call. Do your part and then leave the rest where it may be.
Oh.
There you go.
Well, all right.
Now you remember your positive note?
I do. Meditation brings clarity.
Meditation brings clarity. Okay.
What do you think it means?
I don't know. I know that's a scripture to meditate.
Oh, it is. What did you say? It was Philippians?
Philippians 4:8. Somebody wrote a book on that.
Oh, that's right. What was
these
it? Think on these things. That was the name of the book. Yes.
I wrote the book just in case,
He did write the book because he's smarticle.
No.
You are
Anyway,
smart. You are. You are very smart.
what does that mean? Meditation brings clarity.
To think deeply about, to contemplate, to rehearse things in your mind helps you to clarify situations, circumstances that may be kind of murky. My mantra to myself is that all of your answers are already inside of you.
Yes,
So
I've said that.
if you meditate on what you have questions about or what you want to have clarity about, it will happen through meditation.
Okay.
Do you believe that?
I do.
I
believe it. I believe it. I do believe it. I 100% believe that. Yes. Silence will teach you everything you need to know. So there you go. All right. That's it.
And that's it for this episode of Saving Us. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate every time you tune in. And we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.